Dane County, Wisconsin. Madison, a capital city widely considered to be one of the best cities to live in the country. Known for its picturesque skyline and a community nestled between four beautiful lakes.
Beauty has always been a defining quality of Madison.
That beauty attracted Native Americans to Dane County 12,000 years ago.
One group, known as the effigy mound builders, built their very distinctive animal-shaped mounds on hilltops overlooking lakes and rivers, because, in part, they were beautiful.
In fact, Madison is home to the largest concentration of effigy mounds in the world. Centuries later, early European settlers discovered the region.
One of the major reasons that Madison was selected over 18 other competitors to be the capital of the Wisconsin Territory was because it was beautiful. Once civic leaders realized we had something very special here, even a city on a hill, they recognized how important it was to maintain the beauty of the city.
Madison civic leaders emphasized high design standards and brought in visionaries like John Nolan to develop plans that enhanced the city's beauty.
In 1853, a reporter from a Massachusetts newspaper came here and was smitten by Madison. He took a boat out onto Lake Monona and he wrote back to his eastern readers, "You can see the white drifts of sand far down into their transparent depths. That's the way the lakes once were. That's the way we need to restore them."
But the lakes weren't always treated well. In the late 1800s, Madisonians had to find a way to deal with raw sewage.
At that time, there was a scientific theory that says it would be okay to put sewage into the lakes. They're big, it should be no problem. But the scientific theory was wrong. The sewage created a tar-like black coating, creating one of the most awful chapters in Madison history.
It took decades to clean up the lakes. Today, there is a new set of challenges.
We must remove nutrients from the lakes, nutrients that come both from the farm and the city. If we are able to do that, our lakes can be clear once again.
The Yahara River flows from Columbia County through lakes Mendota, Monona, Waubesa, and Kegonsa to the Rock River in Rock County.
Lake Mendota is the headwater lake of the whole Yahara chain. It has a very large watershed. Much of it is in agricultural land use.
Scientists have found a number of factors that impact the quality of our lakes. In the end, they all lead to one thing: phosphorus.
It comes off in large storm events. And it flows into the lake, and the phosphorus is fueling these blue-green algae blooms.
As you move down the chain, the impact grows. 60% of Lake Monona's phosphorus comes from Lake Mendota, and Lake Waubesa gets almost 80% of its phosphorus from Monona.
More gentle winds will push those floating algae to the downwind shoreline, and they pile up as these massive scums.
And it's not just an eyesore. Blue-green algae is also a serious health concern.
Some species can produce a lot of toxins. This is the reason we're trying to cut phosphorus in the lakes to prevent these kinds of scums.
Part of the fight is against Mother Nature. Scientists say climate change is leading to more large rainstorms, which in turn lead to extreme runoff.
Large amounts of rain, 7, 8, or more inches of rain in a very short period of time, produces massive amounts of sediment washing off the fields from erosion, and that contains tremendous amounts of phosphorus.
This most recent drought, however, gives scientists hope.
Droughts mean not much rain, therefore not much runoff, and therefore not much phosphorus coming off the landscape to fuel these algae blooms. That gives us hope that if we can cut phosphorus in our management programs in normal years, then we will see better water quality too.
As potentially the most studied water bodies in the world, there have been many efforts to clean up the water since the 1970s.
It's an evolutionary process.
In the early 80s, the 6 Mile-Pheasant Branch Water Project focused on practices to reduce egg runoff. In the 90s, the focus shifted to Lake Monona. Urban sediment runoff dropped by 48%. And the most recent 10-year Lake Mendota Priority Watershed Project targeted erosion control on farms and in neighborhoods.
One of the big areas of accomplishment was construction site erosion control. 90% of the cropland had an adequate conservation system to keep soil in its place and water where it lands.
But the battle was not won.
Originally, this used to be a crop field.
Even a few miles from the lake, what happens here directly impacts the water.
We're working all the way up in the watershed. The Mendota watershed, the Yahara watershed extends all the way up into Columbia County.
As urban Dane County spreads its wings,
The transition from the urban landscape to the agricultural landscape.
farm producers expanded their operations with new technologies, more controlled environments, and less available land for manure disposal. And we still hadn't met our phosphorus reduction goal. The 2005 North American Lake Management Society Conference in Madison re-energized the community and created the Yahara Lakes Legacy Partnership.
So that really helped to coalesce a new era, pulling together the City of Madison, Dane County, the Department of Natural Resources, and Ag, Trade, and Consumer Protection.
The group developed a list of 70 recommendations to restore our lakes and beaches.
The dark red areas on the maps that are there and the dark brown areas show where we really need to place the practices that we've been talking about in order to be the most effective to reduce phosphorus and sediment.
Building on the good work, the process moved forward. Yahara Clean spearheaded the new effort to protect the Yahara chain of lakes.
We all agreed to work together and we came up with a plan. This was the Yahara Clean report, but it had 70 different actions. And it was very difficult to say, well, which one of these should we do first?
With a long list of actions needed, the group had to prioritize.
We're very fortunate. The Clean Lakes Alliance had been working in the area on water cleanup.
The Clean Lakes Alliance helped broaden the knowledge base and engage the community to move the process along more fluidly.
We have a community board that includes a wide range of representatives, from realtors to farmers to businessmen, and also local units of government.
The board set up a strategic direction committee to turn the Yahara Clean report into an action plan.
I am excited about it. We've got engineers, we've got limnologists, biologists, and people who understand the technical aspects of this information.
With the help of Strand Associates, the plan now contains 14 specific actions that will get us to our goal of 50% phosphorus reduction.
We have the opportunity to really make a difference to the lakes in our community. And that's not only good for those who like to fish and swim, but it's also good to draw people to the community, to attract businesses.
As a recruiting tool, actually having the beautiful lakes in the center of Madison is a nice draw, because it brings people in and they go, boy, this is a beautiful part of the country and a place that is pristine and beautiful. So they see it as a nice way of making that transition and to kind of having a better life.